We're living in a new age of invention. Brilliant brains are no longer just holed up in leading university labs or research facilities.
Today, inventors are coming together in technology hubs like this to design,
to help improve people's lives.
It's actually working. That's so cool.
For this series, we brought together 7 of the UK's leading engineers, designers and computer programmers.
Ta-da!
I'm gonna make myself the guinea pig.
They'll use cutting-edge science and technology to build life-changing solutions for people in desperate need.
I don't know who to ask or where to go.
In pain, uncomfortable.
From helping individuals who are seriously ill
Whoa!
to solving issues affecting entire communities.
Someone's either going to get seriously injured and can't get aid, or someone's going to die.
They'll attempt to tackle major problems that have so far gone unsolved.
I think I've created something really new and possibly revolutionary.
The potential of this is massive. Fingers crossed, nothing cracks or explodes.
I'm Simon Reeve. Over the next 9 months, I'll be working with this brilliant team.
If they succeed, they could change these people's lives and the lives of many more.
This is the best thing that could ever happen to us.
Keep going, keep going! Keep going to do it!
Our team's base is in East London. Known as a makerspace, it's one of a national network of inventors' hubs crammed full of the latest technology. It's from here that our 7 leading inventors will attempt to create fixes for people with nowhere else to turn.
I'm really excited about what we're going to learn. I can't wait to meet these people.
The team includes a director from Microsoft, engineers who worked at Dyson's Innovation Labs, award-winning designers who've built everything from ambulances to earthquake sensors.
Yeah, right, let's get our sleeves rolled up and get stuck in.
This to design,
to help improve people's lives.
It's actually working. That's so cool.
For this series, we brought together 7 of the UK's leading engineers, designers and computer programmers.
Ta-da!
I'm gonna make myself the guinea pig.
They'll use cutting-edge science and technology to build life-changing solutions for people in desperate need.
I don't know who to ask or where to go.
In pain, uncomfortable.
From helping individuals who are seriously ill
Whoa!
to solving issues affecting entire communities.
Someone's either going to get seriously injured and can't get aid, or someone's going to die.
They'll attempt to tackle major problems that have so far gone unsolved.
I think I've created something really new and possibly revolutionary.
The potential of this is massive. Fingers crossed, nothing cracks or explodes.
This week, they'll build life-saving equipment for 2 brothers with cystic fibrosis.
Every time you slow, the red car accelerates.
I have never, ever seen this before.
They'll help a young girl who has to wear a protective helmet live a normal life.
I just trip over a lot and I can't stop.
And build technology to give a partially sighted mum the freedom to enjoy the outdoors.
We're here!
I'm Simon Reeve. Over the next 6 months, I'll be working with the team.
If they succeed, they could change these people's lives and the lives of many more.
This is the best thing that could ever happen to us.
Keep going, keep going! Keep going to do it!
Our team's base is in East London. Known as a makerspace, it's one of a national network of inventors' hubs. Crammed full of the latest technology, it's from here that our 7 leading inventors will attempt to create fixes for people with nowhere else to turn.
I want to explore their lives, we want to discuss as a team and work with them to build the right solution.
Our experts are all leaders in their field. Engineers who worked at Dyson, and award-winning designers who have built everything from ambulances to earthquake sensors.
Is it fair to say there is a technological revolution
underway at the moment.
Yes, I think we call it the maker revolution. It's a great way to leverage this energy that people have to contribute, to donate their time and their skills to help a great cause.
Hye-An Jae-young is a director of innovation at Microsoft Research. She'll lead the first case to help 2 boys with cystic fibrosis, a debilitating disease that severely affects their breathing. Every morning, Mum Vicky is up at the crack of dawn to prepare for their first treatment of the day.
Thanks.
Everything has to be sterilised every time you use it.
Every time? And how often is it used?
Well, they both have 3 nebulisers a day, so 6 times of sterilising.
Do you spend your life cleaning and sterilising?
I do, yeah. Boiling pans of water.
I hear some stirring.
Hi.
First awake is her 13-year-old son, Morgan.
He's like a little dog, aren't you? Right, so what happens now is Morgan starts his routine.
Cystic fibrosis, or CF, is the result of a faulty gene that causes sticky mucus to gather in the lungs and digestive system.
How does that taste?
Oh, they should make better flavours.
Yeah.
It makes it hard to breathe and increases the risk of infection. Morgan begins his day inhaling saltwater vapour that helps to loosen the mucus.
Salt flavour's not great, is it?
A chocolate-flavoured nebuliser.
Yes, I would do that. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It's finished.
Great.
Next, Vicky prepares 13 pills.
First of one.
They're basically a pain because sometimes they get stuck in my throat and it like hurts for the rest of the day.
So literally a pain.
Yeah.
So I do spend my life, it feels like nagging. Like, it's time to do your nebuliser, it's time to do your tablets. Oh, it's time to do your physio.
But by far the biggest chore
Come on, Morgan.
is physiotherapy for his lungs. It's a 30-minute exercise to loosen the mucus so it's then easier to cough it up.
Whoa! Let's have that. You know, he's 12, he could do it by himself. But as you can see, it is just tedious. He does anything he can to get out of it.
To add to the difficulty, Morgan has a condition called ADHD, which means he has a short attention span and is quickly distracted.
We don't need noises. Keep going.
What kind of things do you entertain Morgan with?
We can't really have anything on because they can't do 2 things at once.
Yeah.
So then they're just staring at the TV and they forget to blow and...
Oh, OK.
5.
They have to do this for 30 minutes, 3 times a day,
2, 3,
every
4,
day.
5.
And when Morgan's done,
Wakey, wakey.
Vicky has to repeat the whole process.
It's time for school.
With 16-year-old Aidan. She's desperate for help.
And how much do you like or dislike the physio? Is it
Dislike.
Would you do it if Mum and Dad weren't hassling you into it?
No.
Even though you know it's really important?
Yeah.
Aidan, are you going to come and sit over here? Oh. Well, you can sit.
Oh.
Where can you sit?
Oh.
Aidan, we're not using that, sweetie. Aidan has got autism. He doesn't understand the reason why he's got to do it. He doesn't understand what CF means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why do you hate it?
Boring most time.
Oh.
Better stuff to do.
What kind of better stuff?
Play games.
What kind of games?
FIFA.
What's your role in the morning's proceedings, Simon?
Well, I sort of take a back step from all the medication and physio just because Vicky's better with it. So I take the role of feeding them up.
People with cystic fibrosis require up to 50% more calories a day because mucus stops nutrients being absorbed into their gut.
Am I your server?
That's it, yeah. Thank you very much.
Currently, the average life expectancy of someone with cystic fibrosis is around 40 years. And without daily physio, their quality of life is significantly worse.
Everything you do day to day, we try to make it a treasured memory because you just don't know what might happen in the future.
Mum's morning is taken up cajoling Aidan and Morgan.
Hello.
Whilst Dad Simon sorts the other 2 kids.
Great.
OK, we're off.
All right.
And then it's off to school.
Vicky, I don't know how you do it with, you know, your 4 kids and...
Yeah, I think everybody says that, you know, but I think you just do. You kind of get what you're given and you deal with it. It's not ideal. I wouldn't choose it, but I wouldn't change the boys for the world.
At Aidan's school, he must exercise every day to help improve his lung function.
It's normal running. Well done, that's good.
Wearing an altitude mask restricts my own oxygen intake and simulates how Aidan feels when his lungs are infected.
Good. Well done. Off you go for 20 seconds now. Keep working it. That's good. OK. Well done. Keep going. Try and keep your hands on your chest there, Aidan. 3, 2, 1. And rest up, gentlemen. That's good. Well done.
Oh,
3,
Jesus.
2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And rest up, gentlemen. Well done. Excellent.
It's a window into a completely different world, actually. It's way beyond unpleasant. It's frightening. So, is there anything more we take for granted in our bodies? So this gives me a sense of what it must be like.
Yeah.
Oh, Aidan, mate.
After a humbling day with the Coxhead family, we leave them to begin yet another round of physio sessions.
What a life they live, my goodness. I mean, they're so loving, so caring, so sharing.
So lovely, yeah.
So open to us as well, but facing really tricky challenges. It's so complicated. What's your thinking?
There are definitely ways we can make Vicky's life easier through just simple things like how can we help her keep count? And she needs to constantly remind them or nag them. And then thinking about how can we motivate the boys to do that program? So how can we just improve those things, those little things for her, maybe through digital technology?
The next case is 7-year-old Rosie. She had brain surgery as a baby and now wears a cumbersome medical helmet whenever she's awake. She wants the team to invent something that'll be less visible and help her fit in with her friends. The case will be led by Dr. Zoe Laughlin.
I always wanted to make things. I wanted to kind of engage physically in the world and invent stuff, because it's fundamentally all about interrogating the world and going, why is that like that? And could it be done better and differently and with a bit more ingenuity?
She's a materials engineer and an artist who works with everything from precious metals to porcelain and even space dust.
Hello.
Hiya.
Rosie.
Are you Rosie?
Today we've come to Stockton-on-Tees to meet Rosie and her mum Nat.
Can we talk about what you've got on your head?
I just trip over a lot and I can't stop.
Do you trip or your legs give way underneath you? They get a bit wobbly.
I just trip sometimes.
She was born at 26 weeks, so she was born pretty early, and she had a bleed on her brain. Because of that, she's now blind in the right eye. She's got undertoned muscles as well, and she just falls quite a lot, don't you?
Will you show me your helmet? Can you take it off for me so we can have a closer look?
You manage.
Let's have a look. Does it get hot?
Sometimes when it's really sunny, it rubs on my head and it makes my head go all sore.
Look here, you can really see those 2 marks there where it rubs against the front of your head. So have you been wearing a helmet ever since you could walk, since you were a toddler?
Yeah.
Always.
To learn more about what Rosie wants from a protective helmet, Zoe asks her and her sisters to draw some designs.
We're all going to think about the most amazing helmet. What would it have on it? What would it be like? OK?
So we're going to put on whatever we want?
Yeah, whatever you want.
As with any child, Rosie just wants to fit in with her friends.
I'm doing it in orange.
Permanent safety helmets are widely used by people with epilepsy and brain injuries. But Rosie is very keen that hers is different.
Whoa, that's cool.
She's never been able to wear her hair on a daily basis, how she likes, in any kind of style she wants. She'll ask me for a bun in her hair, and I can't put a bun in her hair.
So you'd like something then that means she can do her hair or express herself through her hair?
I think she's probably outgrown it now as well. I think she needs something a bit, this next step up.
And have you got any thoughts about what that should be?
The only thing I can really say that she loves his music, David Bowie, and she's absolutely fanatical about him, like really badly, like just absolutely loves everything about him.
Like most 7-year-olds, Rosie already has ideas on what her new helmet will be like.
This is the helmet.
Yeah,
and it's got what? What is special about that helmet?
it's got a microphone and it's got wings and cakes on it.
It's got a microphone and wings and cakes on it. That is a pretty special helmet.
And it's got 2 light bulbs.
They were the 4 key things: lights, wings, music, and cake.
Before we leave, Rosie is desperate to show us something.
Whoa! Wow. You do love him, don't you? What are your favourite pictures of him there?
I've got that on one of my magazines.
Have you?
Yeah. That is on full volume. I have not had it this loud. Never with Baba. That's right. I've got some actions.
Go on, let's see them. You teach me.
We're gonna fall.
I can't quite hear Rosie's
Back in London, Zoe and I feed back to the rest of the team.
Rosie really touched me. What a character. Yeah, I really felt for her, and I really wanted to think of just do the absolute best for her. I mean, grown adults don't even like wearing bike helmets because they mess up their hair. Imagine if you had to wear that all the time, how it impacts on both your identity, but also just the comfort. And as you said, it's itchy and it's hot and you can't run around, and I think we can really do something to help her.
The idea that it's not one helmet, it's potentially... Yeah. We're potentially designing a system for her to look nice. You probably don't look like David Bowie every day, but you want to be able to look like David Bowie sometimes.
I'm really conscious with this that this is obviously a medical device. It's been designed as a medical device and tested as one. And anything that we produce here would need to be subjected to that same testing regime.
The team have hit on a serious problem. Testing any medical device can take years to get the right certification. Zoe and the team must find a quicker way to create the potentially life-changing helmet for Rosie. Hyann has spent 3 months researching cystic fibrosis, talking to medical experts, chatting to Mum Vicky,
I think the fix should really help you as well.
and analysing every part of the boy's treatment. She must juggle the Coxhead's case with her own newborn baby.
Someone's fallen asleep.
And international travel for her work.
It's 6 a.m. in Seattle. I was just thinking about the Coxheads.
But back in her lab in Cambridge, she hits on an idea.
How do we make CF physio more exciting for the boys? And my solution is to turn physio into a video game. And actually, the controller for that video game is right here. This is an a cappella. It's an airway clearance device for cystic fibrosis. The better quality of the breaths that the boys are breathing, the higher the score that they might score in a video game.
She takes the idea to the Inventors Hub.
That sounds like a very difficult thing, a very expensive thing to create. Because these boys, surely they're going to be used to, I know, one of the big selling games, they cost as much as a Hollywood movie to make, don't they?
I think you might have hit the nail on the head with a game is a big deal these days. Making a modern game, huge budgets, huge timescales.
What we're seeing with tablet games, with mobile games, is that you can create really compelling play experiences with very simple graphics.
That's true.
Very simple game mechanics as well.
Could it be rich enough in content and activity to make it have some sort of legacy for them? I mean, will it last? Will they get bored within a week?
It just has to be better than lying on your side on your own doing the physio, right? It doesn't have to be better than Call of Duty.
We don't have to make the game. I think we could engage a wider community and run a hackathon where we bring together designers, programmers, hardware, electrical engineers. They'll hack together a project, and at the end of it, they actually have working prototypes.
Hyan posts messages on social media, and a few weeks later, a 48-hour hackathon is underway. Day one gets off to a good start, with volunteers fueled by pizza, and work goes on late into the night. The next morning, I come to see the progress.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, yeah. But it's pretty
Hey, Hyan.
Hello.
Hello. Look at this.
Welcome to our hackathon.
This is very impressive. Where has this idea come from?
So the hackathon is kind of a recent invention, and it's the idea that people volunteer their time and their skills in a very compressed time frame. And when you've got that 48 hours, that 24 hours compressed time frame to get together and make something, you can really achieve a lot.
Right.
They're volunteering their time to create video games using CF airway clearance devices that I've created.
I haven't seen this. What have you come up with?
Let me show you.
I really want
Yeah.
to see. So this is something that you've developed?
Yes, exactly. So this chip has a sensor on it. It's a pressure sensor. When I blow into it, the air pressure that I'm producing is being turned into digital signals, and those digital signals is triggering the lights on the board, but it's also being transmitted onto my laptop so that I can use it as an input into an app or a video game.
But how would you use this then to control a game?
The breath propels him forward,
Yeah.
Makes him run, and then the button allows him to jump. Kind of like if you've ever played Mario.
Is this actually doable in the time you've got?
Yes.
These guys are actually hacking a physical car racing set.
Right.
So the airway clearance device is going to be helping the boys race cars in the living room or even outdoors.
Whoa. The Coxhead boys would love this.
Working with the team are two of the UK's leading cystic fibrosis physiotherapy experts, Professor Eleanor Main and Amani Prasad.
I think it's the most interesting thing that's happened in airway clearance for a long time.
Wow.
Actually, airway clearance has always been the bugbear, and to see in 48 hours people suddenly making it possibly fun it's just amazing. And behind that, then there's a whole other thing about what data we can collect.
Exactly.
And as clinicians and researchers, what can we do with that data?
But this game isn't just a toy. Hidden within it is technology that can store clinical research on patient breathing. If lots of CF sufferers play the games, they could create a treasure trove of data about physio for cystic fibrosis. The biggest, in fact, ever.
You can look at hundreds of people simultaneously over a long term, and that hasn't been possible.
I'm so glad that this could potentially change physio research for you guys. The fact that, you know, I can create something that might improve the lives of a lot of CF sufferers is just incredible to me.
After 48 hours of hard work, the hackathon draws to a close. Hyan has prototypes of games, but there's still a lot of work to do. Zoe is redesigning 7-year-old Rosie's bulky medical helmet. Today we've come to Rosie's school.
Here she comes!
We want to know how her teacher feels about her helmet.
Do you feel more comfortable as her teacher knowing that she's got quite a large, bulky helmet on her head?
For definitely when she's walking around the classroom and walking through school, she needs to have something to protect her. The thing that concerns me a little bit is sometimes I look at her and she just looks uncomfortable. Like, you can see that she's hot and you think she's wearing that all of the time, all day long. I can't imagine personally having a helmet on literally from the moment I wake up until I go home at night.
Zoe goes to meet Dr. Win Tin, Rosie's consultant. He's looked after Rosie since birth and through 2 major brain operations, but now thinks she could reduce down how much she wears the helmet.
During the school time, during the bedtime, of course, I don't think she really needs it. But again, it's a comfort zone and the confidence factor, which I think is important for Rosie.
So do you envisage a time when she wouldn't need a helmet?
I do. The difficulty is nobody can tell when I think she will be in a position to come off, and when everybody surrounding her will be also comfortable.
So a less protective helmet that enabled her to transition between helmet and no helmet, psychologically might help.
That would be very useful for her.
So it's clear Rosie won't always need a helmet. Zoe knows she needs to create head protection that provides safety, but crucially, starts to wean Rosie off wearing a helmet altogether.
We've got some helmets, and we've got one here that's actually pretty close to the type that Rosie has. A blue foam. Really nothing very sophisticated. It's almost like something like wetsuit material. In the case of this, nothing more than a web, you know, that attaches to the head, but, you know, there's a gap which provides some form of protection. When you know, get a knock, it's going to make your head shake around, whereas this will just absorb it and be much softer and just provide better cushioning, really. So.
We see these everywhere now, you know, don't we? We think a lot of people associate them, I suppose, with ludicrous health and safety. What force can this withstand? It's not a bowling ball. Goodness. OK, this is a challenge now. A bit harder.
I don't think I'm going to get much purchase on it.
Oh, look! Bit of a dent now. Bit of a dent.
And a crack.
But look, the head inside would be nice and safe. Bit more purchase.
It's the foam which is doing all the protecting there.
We start to investigate protective headwear, to examine the different materials that are used.
Let's take that out there. So there's our hard shell, like the crash helmet, the builder's helmet has. Now, look, here's the polystyrene. Similar to the bike helmet. Look, standard polystyrene, like packaging you'd get for a TV or something.
Then Zoe mixes up a non-Newtonian fluid, something you find in your kitchen cupboard.
Big bag of corn flour.
Yeah.
Want to get it to the sort of consistency...
Can I assist?
Double cream, yeah, get your hands stuck in there. Right, so actually this is pretty perfect consistency-wise. This, if you just put your hand in, it's soft and runny, but if you punch it...
That is astonishing.
Go on, pop your hand in.
No! What do you mean pop my hand in? Just keep the hammer away. I want to do the punching more.
Go on, you do a punch, just so you get your confidence up. Fast release, and you'll come away clean.
That's astonishing. How is that possible? Look.
Yeah, that's good. That's it.
That's incredible.
So that is a liquid that will absorb energy and provide protection. What's happening is it's those particles, the little tiny grains of the flour. They're not dissolved, they're just suspended in the water. And they normally just move over each other nicely. But if you give them energy, they can't get out of the way quick enough. So they actually, in effect, lock together and provide that protection.
It's this principle that Zoe now needs to turn into practical head protection for Rosie. Two cases are now underway, and the team are about to begin their third. They must find a solution for a partially sighted mum who's scared to leave home with her children. Ruby Steele will lead the case. She's a top design strategist, and often the first port of call to decide the direction the team will take.
Ruby, tell me a bit about your background.
I've done a lot of work with older people, in particular my grandmother. I think you're always inspired by things that you know. One of the real handicaps for her was losing her sight. She's now being classified as blind.
We've come to Woking to meet partially sighted mother of two, Shamreen Hussain.
Hello.
Hello, Shamreen, hello.
Oh my goodness, such excitement.
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. That is very exciting. In terms of what makes things particularly
hard. Are you able to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've got something which is called cone dystrophy. So it's the cone cells in the retina, which is at the back of the eye, which are damaged, and I'm totally colourblind.
Can you see us now?
Yeah,
And do you only see us, or are we out of focus? Am I in focus?
I can't see fine details, so my fine vision is very weak.
Right.
But inside, when a room's really bright, I struggle because I get a glare. So everything's just become a blur.
Her visual impairment makes everyday tasks like cooking a nightmare.
What I do is I'll use my hands to know how far in I should be cutting.
Mind your thumb! That was a nervous moment for me. Then I could see that thumb. I kept wanting to pull it out of the way of the knife. I've got a slight chill going through me when I see you doing that.
That's why I tend to avoid cooking.
You try and stay out of the kitchen. You don't cook.
I don't cook. My husband does it all. I've been in situations when guests have come. My brother-in-law, my husband, would do the joint cooking, and when they've come, I do the serving, so it looks like I've cooked.
That's because of
the
pressure.
There's too much explaining that it's not accepted for me not to be able to cook and not to be able to serve.
So people genuinely don't know that you have a sight problem?
They know I have a sight problem. They don't understand what it means.
Shamreen can overcome most things in the home, but outdoors she struggles to cope.
Hang on, don't run out.
Now, what about obstacles on the road? Do you feel okay with...
No, like the manholes and stuff, we just trip over them.
Have you fallen over on the street?
Oh, yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Have you hurt yourself?
Many of times.
Many times, really?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to use obvious visual aids like white sticks, guide dogs or support workers. She'd prefer something that keeps her impairment discreet.
I feel quite vulnerable and very stressed. My stress levels are quite high.
I mean, this feels like a much more difficult environment for you to be in, isn't it?
Yep.
Listen, I can feel you're getting stressed.
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Yeah. Right, Maham, can you hold my hand?
Take
We're
your
going
time,
to cross
there's
the
no
road
rush.
now. Good boy, good boy.
Cone dystrophy is a hereditary disease, and Shamreen's son, Muham, has the same condition.
Right, let's cross the road.
OK. You're closing your eyes a lot more, aren't you? So you
Yeah,
can, am I
it
right
is.
in thinking you can see less now than
before?
than in the house?
The road ahead is quite busy, so
All right.
that's one of the main roads, and it's going to be very difficult to cross.
So there's a van coming from the right. Can you see the van there? Do you want us to cross?
Yeah, so he
Okay.
stopped.
Yeah.
He must have, like, given you indication to go. So he probably waved his hand.
Yeah.
He did, yeah. I don't say that.
Yeah.
All I see is a stopped vehicle.
Yeah. Do you do things like go to the park with them?
It's not like an everyday thing. It's not every weekend thing. It has to be pre-planned, and I need to help someone. I need to ask someone to drop me off or come with me.
On the way home, the dangers for Shamreen and her boys are all too apparent.
There's not a lot of room here, is there?
No.
I wouldn't want to be dragging two boys along here.
With Shamreen and the kids safely back home, we bring an end to a stressful afternoon.
It was quite distressing to see her like that. I
was,
really
I agree.
didn't want. I wanted to just take her out of it straight away.
Take her back into the house.
Take her back into the house. But then, that in itself is very telling because it just shows that how trapped she is.
What will you do from here?
So I need to go away and digest all the information that we've got today. I want to share everything with the rest of the team and get some more input from the rest of their expertise. I do think it would be really useful to do an audit of existing products and technology just to see how she reacts to them, because
Products for visually impaired people and blind people, right?
Just because it's a kind of fast-track way to find out what works and doesn't work for her.
Is the fix what you imagined, or is it more complicated?
It's a lot more complicated. It affects every aspect of her life, so how do you decide which one of those you want to make better?
Yeah.
250 miles away in Stockton-on-Tees, Zoe's been teaching Rosie how to customise her helmets. But Zoe never stops searching for a way to make the helmets as lightweight and inconspicuous as possible. Inspiration comes from the most surprising places.
Hiya. So I've just had a bath, and I was in the bath and I had a thought about Rosie and the crash helmets and the problem of foams, like what it is you actually want from a foam. You want it to be able to kind of collapse and absorb the energy, but actually you want it to be able to spring back and recover so it's ready to, you know, receive another impact.
She begins investigating every foam in existence.
You wouldn't want that as a crash helmet.
She settles on a revolutionary new foam, which has similar properties to corn flour.
I've got this special type of material that's really high-tech, used in top-end protective clothing. So it's a kind of foam and a liquid at the same time. It's soft and malleable, but ow, if you bash it, it becomes more solid.
Then, on a night out, she has a moment of inventor's inspiration.
I was walking down the street and I've seen a man wearing a headband, and it made me think of Rosie's helmet being just a headband. Look, can you see him over my shoulder? It's quite wide at the front, and it goes down to a narrow thing at the back.
Back at her workshop, Zoe begins working on high-tech headbands that will protect the weakest parts of the skull around the temple. It takes 2 months of prototype testing. Then she's ready to see what Rosie and her parents think.
What I've been making here is actually looking at making a range of headbands that use absolutely high-tech internal materials. So they're soft, but actually really robust and really absorb loads of energy. But I thought it would be interesting if we could try and essentially make for Rosie objects that she can wear in the classroom or when you go for dinner, something that's not a helmet at all, and then enables her to have her own hair and give her that confidence to take the helmet off. So straight over your head, all the way down, or like that. So then that much cooler.
No, it is a lot cooler, isn't it?
But even that, I mean,
It looks like a sports thing that goes on your forehead.
Yeah. It is like a sports thing. This is used in, you know, Olympic ski suits and the top-end motorcyclists' clothing. People who ride horses use it in breastplates. This is a part of a breastplate for a horse rider. Right. Things where you need flexibility, you need movement, but you need protection as well. So it's kind of, come from the, sort of the elite athletes.
As parents, how comfortable would you feel about this idea at all?
Oh, perfectly comfortable, because it has got obviously it's got the protection on it as well.
It's about finding the appropriate object for the appropriate moment.
Yeah.
When she's outside and running around, the helmet is appropriate. But when she's sat at the desk at school,
and she gets
it's just too much.
It really does get a lot.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. I think it's a great idea because, like you said, it's just like what other people would wear. But yeah, it's got the protection in it, which you can't really tell by looking at them.
Is it feeling comfortable now? Does it feel hot?
Can I wear this one for school?
You can take one to school, yeah.
Yeah, you can wear it for school.
One for inside and a different one for outside.
This has all been a revelation to us. We can't thank you enough. And I think it will transform her life.
You think it will transform her life? It's as significant as that?
I really do. To give her that, just to give her that confidence, to learn to do her own hair and just little things like that.
To see the benefit of the headbands, Zoe is organised for Rosie to meet a top hairdresser. Free from her helmet, Rosie can now have almost any hairstyle she wants.
How would you describe today?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking, good. Serious question.
The best day of my life ever.
Pardon?
The best day of my life ever.
The best day of your life ever? So far? You never know what's to come. That's great. Pop it up. That's it.
That's good.
And then we can even put the clip back in.
Hold on.
I know.
It looks good.
Let's have a look.
Should we have a look in this mirror? What do you think?
That's brilliant. Give us a twirl. Woohoo!
Is that a happy face? Are you looking forward to showing friends at school? It looks great, and there's still protection there in that delicate bit at the front. You look fantastic.
I'm going to show my mum and dad.
Okay, you can show Mum and Dad.
For 6 months, Zoe has researched and tested nearly every type of helmet and material that could protect Rosie. The high-tech headband she has invented is a world first. Back in Cornwall,
Aidan, when did you do physio? Nah.
Vicky faces a constant battle to get her 2 sons to do daily physio for cystic fibrosis.
No point. There's no point.
No point now. Fine. That's the way you want to be.
Aidan, flight number 325, about to commence.
No.
It needs to be done.
I'm not. I'll do it now.
Somehow she manages 6 half-hour treatments every single day.
And then you can go back and play. Right?
Hyan has been working round the clock on the video game's controller she hopes will transform the boy's monotonous treatment. She's desperate to reduce the strain on Vicky.
Do you ever have moments where you're just, like, not, just sort of exhausted?
Always, yeah. I mean, I kind of obviously put on a brave face, but there are loads of times I just don't want to have that fight with them again. And as soon as I work myself up to, okay, we're going to do physio now, and that takes a lot of mental emotion to actually know that I'm going to have a fight on my hands, and at what point do I want to pick that fight?
Seeing the amount of effort and the amount of emotional investment you put into the boys' exercises every day, I think what we really need is something like a digital Vicky.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. I would love it.
So that, you don't have to nag the boys. We can get digital Vicky to nag the boys, and you can just sit back and relax and be their mum.
Perfect. Yeah, that would just be amazing. Aww. Obviously, making the boys happy and making it more engaging is great.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, if you can take some of that strain and time and hours away from my day, then that would be a miracle.
The idea behind Digital Vicky is to monitor the boys' daily physio, but also track their fitness routine, a vital part of cystic fibrosis therapy. Digital Vicky should replace much of the monitoring that takes up so much time in real-life Vicky's day.
Brought along this for you.
Hyan has fitness tracking devices she hopes will integrate with the Digital Vicky app. They're taking a walk on the beach to see what information the fitness trackers collect.
So I've just uploaded the data from my fitness tracker.
Okay.
And you can see my heart rate's been up. There's some information around heartbeat that might be important.
Useful, yeah.
Because I think that differentiates between just regular walking around and actually high impact.
If you're classing any exercise as physio, then actually the intensity needs to be really quite high, and they need to actually make their lungs work by huffing and puffing, and you'd be able to see that.
I mean, is this something that when you take the boys to the hospital, to the physio,
They would love it. They would love it. They really would love it.
Do you think the boys will feel like they're being surveilled?
Watched, yeah.
Yes, a little bit big brother?
Maybe, but I hope that they can see that it will make them more responsible and more independent. I think it's great.
Oh, great.
It's very exciting.
Oh, cool.
Hyan goes away to build Digital Vicky and finish the games for the boys. It's been 3 months since Ruby began researching Shamreen's case. Today they've got together to look at existing kitchen technology for partially sighted people.
Right, we have got a selection of products for you that we thought you might find useful when cooking. These have all been designed for people with visual impairments, so they've all got a kind of little trick or feature. This is a talking labelling device, so it's supposed to be to help you know what's in different packets that you bring home from the shops. You press record. Test. And then the idea is that when you touch it... Test. Okay, so we'll put one of the...
chickpeas in water.
Okay, now, if you touch that, it should work. That's quite neat, actually.
The pen labelling system could help Shamreen easily identify the ingredients in her cupboard.
Chopped tomatoes.
That's brilliant. I like that. Rice. Brilliant.
From talking scales to ID pens, Shamreen tries a range of kit. It's all available to her through charities or the NHS. But until now, Shamreen has always said she wants to cope on her own.
Oh, it vibrates as well. I think it gives me that guarantee that I know I'm not going to food poison my family. I can really depend on these products. I really am quite surprised.
Right, I guess we want to go and taste the creation now. You've got your confidence in the kitchen now. Do you think that we can maybe push forward even further and find, you know, more ways to give you what you really, the real crux of the matter, which is quality time with your kids, doing things that a mum would do? Do you feel happy with that as a kind of moving forward?
Definitely, it is being a mum for my kids and not using my disability as an obstacle. You know, the simplest things of taking them to a park, it should be something that I do with my eyes closed, let alone me trying to keep them safe and cooped up inside. And sometimes they're just bouncing off walls because they just need that fresh air and to be able to go out. I do really want to be close to my children.
I think she spent her whole life hiding her disability, and because of the kind of social stigma around it, we need to get her more confident and more independent when it comes to spending time with her kids and taking them out.
Armed with a better insight into Shamreen's situation, Ruby begins to plan how the team might help her.
How might we give her freedom to go out? How might we better educate people in her network? How might we make her take care of her children, make her feel secure and safe walking down the road?
After discussions with the team, they come up with a solution.
Basically, the idea is an app that will... It's effectively like the pen friend that we tried, but it's like a kind of giant world version of that. So instead of labelling jars of food and all that kind of stuff, it's like labelling things that she might trip over, crossing roads, all that kind of stuff.
Over the next few weeks, the team helped to develop an app using the existing Global Positioning System, or GPS technology, that's built into most smartphones.
This is basically like an app version of the pen for real life. And instead of the little stickers, it's just
using
GPS coordinates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
I have a notification.
They build a rough prototype. Ruby enlists the help of Lawrence, a visually impaired mobility expert, who will test the GPS app for Shamreen.
I think maybe we should go out and give it a go.
Over the next few hours, Ruby, Lawrence and his support worker Narul walk different routes around London.
Okay, and speaker.
Point 1.
They lay down markers.
Yeah, I guess here. Yeah.
Point 2. If we go all the way up to the door, maybe?
Okay. Point 3.
Okay.
And then retrace their steps, hoping the app will trigger an alert.
Yep, should have been one around here.
Yep,
That's...
there it is.
Oh, it has?
Yep.
Excellent.
Oh.
It thinks it's point 3, but it... Okay. At least it's picking them up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we need to stop there. I think there's quite a bit more work to do debugging this and getting it to work accurately.
I think it's got a lot of potential, definitely. I think it's going to have to be part of someone's mobility experience, really.
We need to assess what's causing the delay. Is it the speed at which we're walking? Is it the radius around the pin? I'm beginning to realise why this hasn't been done before.
But if you can do it, if you can crack it, it'll be really exciting, really, really useful.
Lawrence has really helped work out what the ideal is in quite a lot of detail. So we know what we're shooting for, it's just about whether we can actually do it or not. Because at the end of the day, we are relying on satellites in outer space to tell us whether there is something that's 3 metres in front of us. I mean, it's really quite extraordinary it's got this far, really.
GPS doesn't work quite as well as Ruby had hoped, so the team turned to mathematician and physicist Dr. Sam Parkinson for help.
GPS isn't totally accurate. The phone is going to know your
in an area, it won't know exactly where you are. You'll have a pretty good idea where you are, but it'll kind of say that you're anywhere within a circle within 5 metres of where you are.
And that's like on Google Maps or something like that. That's when
That's
you get
when
the
the circle grows
big
and
blue
gets-
circle
yeah, yeah.
versus like the little pin.
And it tends to
That's
get
what
better
it's
with
doing.
time, so like as GPS gets a fix, that gets smaller.
The app needs to trigger an alert when it's closer to a marker, just 3 to 5 metres from an object rather than 10 to 20 metres. Sounds simple, but it requires complex computer code and algorithms.
We kind of recognised that a really important thing for Shamreen was the ability to independently go out and do the things that any mother would want to do, like take her kids to the park. It won't totally replace something like a cane or a guide dog or something like that. It's more a kind of aid memoir to help you use those kind of tools as well.
Exciting. Shamreen! Hello! So, Ruby has done a lot of work on your behalf.
I'm really sort of excited to try and give you something that might enable you to do even more, because I feel like you've got that spirit already and it's just about giving you something else to just kind of like take it on and run with it, you know?
Anything's a bonus. Any little thing, even if it's one aspect of my needs that you've got, is a bonus to me.
What the app allows you to do is enable you to identify things along the route that are going to cause a problem. Low walls, uneven pavement, lampposts, trip hazards. And you have a little super small and discreet wireless headphone that you put in your... It's really small.
Oh, that's tiny.
Yeah, so you put that in your ear, so it's really discreet. No one else knows that that it's there.
It's pretty high-tech, eh?
It is very high-tech, I think.
Does that appeal to you?
Definitely. And the fact that it's small, it's quite discreet.
So this could be something magnificent.
It gives me that independence.
That Ruby has created, eh? It sounds like you're going to invest in
I
it.
am. I'm already like, I could do this now. I just need a one go.
I love it. No, I love the fact that you're coming up with lots of like ways that you want to be able to test it, and I'm really excited to see how you kind of get on with it, really.
Thank you, Ruby, for giving this to me, and I can't believe that you've spent so much time, and I really do appreciate this. It means a lot to me.
Oh, Ruby, get me.
We head out so Shamreen can test her new app for the very first time.
Where are we going?
To the park.
That's right, we're going to the park. The icon for recording a tag is in the bottom right-hand corner there.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is you hold this down. Okay, go.
Top of White Rose Lane.
There you go. Success.
Yeah, so we can label the lamppost as one of the tags. Lamppost to the right-hand side. I know I need to stop and look for cars.
Exactly. Go.
Drop curve to Wild Bank Court.
Okay, and go.
Rhode Island. Entrance to the park.
Having laid down all the markers, it's time to see if Shamreen's new app actually works.
And then lamppost to the right-hand side. Oh, it's buzzing.
Oh,
manhole cover.
It's coming up, yeah. So the idea is that it's a warning for all these things, so that you've got a bit of a chance to kind of prepare.
It's telling me about the grass curve coming up.
Yay!
To the left. Yep. Brilliant.
Does this feel like
I like the fact that it gives me a couple of minutes warning before I hit the obstacles.
It's a moment, isn't it? And it just feels like just the right amount of time.
I can focus on that area.
Shamreen, how...
Curve to Wild Bank Court. It's telling me it's the drop curve coming up.
Brilliant. It even looks as though you're approaching it more confidently, Shamreen.
Yeah, so now it's coming up.
So you've just already heard that?
It's such a relief saying entrance to the park, you know it's coming. It's giving me a guide. Brilliant.
We're here!
We have made it to the park!
Yay!
Yes!
Yay!
In the park. No dogs are now.
Wow, that looks fun.
Yeah.
It worked!
It did work.
So you've done a good job there. You've done a really good job there.
Oh, I'm really pleased.
It's a big potential for this. For me, and I think other people, even like sighted people, can take advantage of this as well. It's given me the independence that I wanted, and not only just the independence, the confidence the confidence I will be able to take my kids and enjoy going out with my children and enjoy discovering new routes now.
I mean, it does feel a little bit like you're going to be able to do things as a mum now
Yeah.
that you haven't been able to do before.
Thank you.
Hyan's been working for 6 months to help 2 brothers with cystic fibrosis
Aidan, managed to use physio?
Nah.
complete vital daily treatment
It's quite impossible.
and reduce the strain on their mum, Vicky. But just as she finishes, one of the boys becomes seriously ill.
So Morgan, he's being admitted to hospital today. He's got a lung infection that's settled in.
I mean, it does really bring it home how serious the condition is, doesn't it? He's got 50% of his lung capacity at the moment.
I'm a little bit worried about if he's up for trying out some of the games that have been created.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
It's time for them to see what you've done. Very good to see you.
Good to see you. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? We've built a custom electronic piece, and when you blow into it, it will transmit the amount of blowing into joystick movements that feed into a video game.
Sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah. Give it a hard blow. Aidan gets a blue bear. So, do we notice anything about our game characters?
We've tried to get them just like us.
One seems to have similar glasses to Morgan, and one seems to have similar glasses to Aidan.
Oh, he really does go.
Don't forget to press the button to jump.
He does go quite far.
How do you know what to do already?
So Morgan's already done over 10 breaths.
Oh, okay.
Just in these few minutes without us really...
You're surprised, Aidan?
Yeah.
Noticing.
He's just done it without really realising and
Yeah.
And he's cracking on with them as well.
And he's carrying on.
So, how do we like the game?
Good.
I like it.
Out of 10, Morgan.
10.
Whoa!
Yay! Amazing.
Aidan, how's it looking to you?
At the minute, 10.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty good. I'm so happy.
Thank you
I'm so
so
happy you
much.
like it, Morgan. Do you really like it, Morgan?
Yeah, I do.
And this isn't all Hyan has created.
Let's get the stand. All right, so have everybody got their devices? Give it a good breath. So you can see, wow. So there's Aidan's...
Oh my goodness, look at you, zoom it on.
Every time, so you're the red car, and every time you do a good blow, the red car accelerates. It's not about the strength, it's about the length of the blow. So you've got to be able to blow for...
There it goes. He's taking off.
Aidan.
Come on, Red.
Look at the concentration on his face. We don't ever get that
Yeah.
because, and it's working.
And that coughing is what's needed for cystic fibrosis, isn't it? That's loosening mucus.
Yeah.
Come on, Red.
Come on, bro. Come on, Morgan. Come on.
This is the best thing that could ever happen for us because I just know that the hardest thing for him to do is physio, and that is the only thing he needs to do to get better.
But I'm going to be doing it probably every day now. Like,
I think you
without Mum asking me to.
I'm so happy to see these boys so happy. Just, it's phenomenal, and they're really, really into it. I just...
Normally I say, get off your iPad and do your physio. Now I'll be saying,
success.
Get on it and do your physio. I don't know what to say.
Morgan is back home within a few days. We meet up with the family at the local football club where Dad Simon is a coach. He's putting the kids through their paces to help demonstrate Hyan's final gift to Vicky.
I think meeting you and meeting your family, what struck me the most was how much time and effort you put into holding this family together. So I wanted to create really 2 fixes, one for the boys and one for you. It's a dashboard that's really about bringing your family together.
Cool.
And it's the idea that as the boys are doing their exercises, you can actually log in and see their progress over time.
Okay. Like a running live diary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's brilliant.
Flipping heck, Diane, that's very, very clever, isn't it? For all those who will be diagnosed in the future, hopefully there are applications here that could really, really help them.
Yeah. I just wanted to say one thing, which was what Morgan said to me when you guys left. He didn't really know how to say it, but he said, this is actually a good part for cystic fibrosis, isn't it, Mum? Because normally it's all really bad. And for me, that was just the best thing he could ever say.
Thanks, Vicky. Oh, amazing.
And our other inventions are also changing lives. Shamreen is using her app every day to live life, taking her kids to the park. And Rosie's enjoying the freedom her high-tech headband is now giving her.
Yay!